50 Friendly Facts about Canada. Canada is no doubt one of the world's most likable countries. This friendly nation is not only massive, but holds a lot of fascinating facts and history. You may already know it for its array of wildlife from moose to polar bears, but there's a lot more to this country that you might not know. Here we have the top 50 facts about Canada. In Snag Yukon, the coldest temperature in Canada was recorded at -81.4 Fahrenheit, -63 Celsius, which is roughly the same temperature as the surface of Mars. There are over 3,000 lakes in Canada, making its surface area covered by lakes more than any other country in the world. To put things in perspective, Canada is larger than all of the European Union. You could fit 81,975 Walt Disney Worlds inside Canada. Poutine is one of Canada's most famous foods. It is a dish of French fries, cheese curds, and gravy.
The northernmost permanently inhabited place in the world is Alert, Nunavut, which is just 507 miles, 817 kilometers, from the North Pole. Canada has the longest coastline in the world, running at 125,556 miles, 202,080 kilometers, long, bordered by the Atlantic, Arctic, and Pacific. Canadians eat more pasta than any other nation. Canada Mail hasn't run on Saturdays since 1969. Quebec City is the only city north of Mexico that still has fortified walls. They were originally built by the French, followed by the English. All of this happened between the 17th and 19th. Following right behind Saudi Arabia, Canada has the second largest oil reserve in the world. Canada has endlessly ranked highly on a global scale in education, civil liberties, economic freedom, and standard of living. Even though ice hockey is the most played sport in Canada, lacrosse is actually the official sport of Canada. The longest highway in the world is the Trans-Canada Highway. It spans over 4,722 miles, 7,604 kilometers, long. Unsurprisingly, 77% of the maple syrup in the world is made in Quebec, Canada. Even though Canada is the second largest country in the world, it has one of the lowest population densities.
About 90% of Canada's population lives within 100 miles of the US-Canadian border. IMAX theaters, electric wheelchairs, and the board game Trivial Pursuit were all inventions that came from Canada. Interestingly enough, Canada gained independence fairly recently and fully became its own country in 1982. 60% of the world's polar bear population is in Canada. Canada's iconic red and white maple leaf flag was designed to replace the Union Jack and first started being used in 1965. There are more donut shops per capita in Canada than any other country in the world. Off the coast of Newfoundland and Labrador, there are icebergs that float over from Greenland. They are harvested to produce beer, vodka, wine, and beauty products. In Churchill, Canada, residents will leave their cars, and sometimes their homes, unlocked as an escape for people who need to escape from a polar bear.
In Nunavut, Canada, the number plate for cars, motorcycles, and snowmobiles are in the shape of a polar bear. There was a bear cub exported from Canada to the London Zoo in 1915 named Winnipeg. This bear inspired A.A. Milne to write about Winnie the Pooh after his son Christopher Robin would love to visit Winnipeg the bear in the zoo. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which has 30,000 members, originated from the Mounted Police, which was formed in 1873, which started with just 9 officers. There is only one desert in all of Canada, located in British Columbia. It is just 15 miles long and is the only desert in the world with a long boardwalk for visitors to enjoy the scenery on. Canadians are famous for using the interjection "et," so much so that it is listed in the Canadian Oxford Dictionary as a legitimate word. If you write a letter to Santa and send it to the North Pole, H0HOHO, Canada, you will receive a letter back from Santa. The largest demilitarized border in the world is the U.S. Canada border.
In Canada, it is against the law to have comics that portray criminal acts. Members of the Westboro Baptist Church are banned from entering Canada. Hawaiian pizza was not invented by the Hawaiians, but by a man from Ontario, Canada. In the Hudson Bay, there is an area that has less gravity than the rest of the world. Canadians are known for being very polite and apologizing a lot. So much so, that there was an Apology Act passed in 2009 which made apologies inadmissible in court. Around 10% of Canadians are vegetarian or vegan. Many famous Canadians include Justin Bieber, Jim Carrey, Ryan Gosling, Drake, and Shania Twain. The longest street in the world is Yonge Street, located in Ontario. It is 1,178 miles, 1,896 kilometers, long.
After the attack on Pearl Harbor during World War II, Canada declared war on Japan before the US did. The smallest jail in the world is in Rodney, Ontario. It is just 270 square feet, 24.3 m. The sunniest place in Canada is Estevan, Saskatchewan with 2,537 hours of sunshine per year. A Mari Usqui Admare is the motto of Canada, meaning from sea to sea. In Yukon, Canada, there is a bar where you can order a Sourtoe cocktail containing an actual toe in a shot of whiskey. The Northwest Territories is nicknamed the land of the midnight sun, because the sun hardly sets during the summer solstice. For every 1,000 people in Canada, there are only 459 cars. The oldest brewery in North America is Molson Coors Canada. It is still running and it started in 1786.
The tap water in Canada is actually better for you than the bottled water there. After Paris, Montreal is the second largest French-speaking city in the world. About 80% of all alcohol consumed in Canada is beer. One Canadian drinks around 79 liters of beer per year. In 1750, Canada was originally called New France. The name Canada is derived from Carter, which is a Huron Iroquois word that means village or settlement.